Hey guys, welcome to part 3 of our Swift and Firebase tutorials. In this video I just wanted to make some quick changes to the way that we're listening to the user authentication state. Right now we're not handling it that well. Basically in the menu view controller, which is this screen right here, we're just checking in the viewDidAppear method whether or not the current user object is empty or not. And if it's not empty, then we're showing the home screen. But it's not good because we're only checking it once in this viewDidAppear. And kind of the same way here in the home view controller, when we're logging the user out, we're just logging them out of Firebase and then dismissing that view. The problem is that these auth state changes can really happen at any time. Like the user just might sign out for any reason. Maybe Firebase will just deem their authentication token invalid and now they're technically signed out, but it won't happen because the user didn't explicitly click this button. So we want to just listen to the user state somewhere outside of all that. So in the app delegate, did finish launching with options method, I'm going to add a listener for any changes to the user state, and that will look something like this. We want the add state did change listener method, and that just passes in an auth and a user. So here we'll check if the user is not nil. Now we can log the user in and show them any screen we want. Otherwise, we want to show them the menu screen so they can sign in. The way we're going to do that is change the window root view controller. So we're not doing any segues here or anything. We're just going to change the actual root view controller of the main window. So before we can instantiate those view controllers, let's just make a few changes to the storyboard. We're not going to need these segues anymore. So this one here, what was it called, to home screen? Yeah, we're not going to bother with that because we're just going to jump straight to this view controller. And actually I wanted to wrap this one into, embed it into a tab bar, because I think our app's going to need a few more pages than just the home screen. So we're going to make this tab bar controller is going to be the main view controller. We'll call it main tab bar controller. And actually that's the title is one thing, but really I want to set this storyboard ID to main tab bar controller. And also let's just make sure here that we have the menu view controller is menu view controller storyboard ID there. That way we can actually instantiate these in the app delegate method without using a segue or something. So let's say storyboard equals UI storyboard. The name is the name of the storyboard, which is main here. Bundle is nil. And then when it comes to actually creating our controller, let's say controller equals storyboard, instantiate view controller with identifier. And so in this case, we want it to be main tab bar controller. And that's just going to be as UI tab bar controller. That's not too important. And now we're going to set the window root view controller is going to set that to controller. And there's one more thing we need to write here. We just need to add make key and visible. Just call that, because that'll make the window show updated to the current root view controller that we set. So we can pretty much just copy this bit of code here. For when the user is nil, we're just going to set it here, except we're going to bring it to the menu view controller. And that's not going to be a UI tab view controller, that's going to be a menu view controller. Great, so again, this is really just setting the right screen depending whether or not the user is nil or not. We need to put self on these windows because it's in a completion block. Okay, sweet. Let's give that a shot. Actually, no, before we do that, let's just remove this. We're not going to need this bit of code here. And we're not going to need this sign out bit of code here. Or we'll still need the sign out, but we don't need the dismiss view there. Alright, let's run that now. Alright, let's try to log in with our Commander Shepherd email and see if it signs us in. And it did. We're in the home view controller now. You can notice that we've got the tab bar at the bottom. So let's see if we log out, and yep, it brings us back to the menu view controller. So that's good. Just a couple more things I wanted to do before this video is over, and that's just handle some of these errors here. Because right now what happens if I type in something that obviously isn't going to work, like this, we're just frozen. So that's not a very good user experience at all. You guys can handle this any way you want to, but the way I'm going to do it is just very simply show a little pop-up when that happens. So here we go. If there was an error logging in, then let's say let alert equal UI alert controller. So this is kind of just like your standard pop-up. It's going to say error, logging in, nil, and an alert style. I'm going to add one action to it. UI alert action with a title of OK. Style will be default, and no action on tap. We just want to present that alert. So self present alert animated true, completion nil. And actually, we're going to need to reset the form. So let's make a function called reset form. Put this in here. Let's call this here self reset form, because we're going to need to re-enable the continue button. So say set continue button enabled true, continue button, set title to continue again, and normal. And then for this activity view, stop animating. So let's run that. Let's try logging in with a user here. That doesn't exist. Click continue. Error logging in. That's what we wanted to see. So perfect. That lets the user, change this data and try again. So in the sign up view controller, we just want to do the same thing and handle these various errors when a user tries to sign up. So we'll just add the reset form function there and call it at these different parts. Self reset form, handle it here as well, handle it here as well, and also handle it there. And we'll say error signing up instead. Signing up. So again, this is just a very rough way of doing it. You probably want to go a bit more in depth, but we can try and do that another time. Good, that's it for now. All right, thanks for watching, guys.